Yeah, so.
Madam Mayor, recording has begun.
All right.
I'm so sorry. Oh, look at you all rested and everything, right?
How about that? I was gonna say that.
All right, you all have, do you have an, oh, you have that in there too, okay. Let's check what time it is, okay. Good evening, everyone, it is 6 o'clock. I would like to officially call this meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Jenkins,
Present.
Councilmember Bryant Ward,
Present.
Councilmember Charlinger is not present, neither is Councilmember Goldsmith. Mayor Jenkins, sorry. Mayor, we know you're here.
You know what, it could happen. Thank you very much.
You have a
Would you
quorum.
all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, if I could entertain, I will entertain a motion for approval of the meeting agenda.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I move that we approve the meeting agenda for August 8th, 2023 as presented.
Thank you very much. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Brings us to our minutes for the 25th of July. If you have had the opportunity to look at that, I will entertain a motion.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
the meeting minutes for July 25th, 2023 contain an error. Councilman Trollinger opposed one of the pieces of legislation presented by the police department. I'm not sure which piece it was, and that was confirmed with him that he did. So the statement that they all passed unanimously is incorrect.
Okay, so I am going to pull the minutes until they can be corrected, unless you know you indicate you didn't. Okay, so,
Move that they be approved with this.
but you don't know which one.
Okay.
Let me ask that. Director Phipps? Do you know which one was not unanimously approved?
No, ma'am. Offhand, I
Okay.
do not know which
So
one
would
it
you
is.
prefer us just to hold it till next time? Oh.
No pressure, but we could defer the minutes until next meeting.
Let's defer them to next week, if that's okay, and we'll add that correction. Thank you very much, Councilwoman Bryant Ward. See, I got it right this time. No hesitations. All right, petitions, communications, and public comment. Do we have anyone who would like to speak this evening? All right, moving on, we have the Planning Department FY24 truck purchase request from Director Harrington, and I believe she is online.
I am. Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
For the Planning Department, we are looking to purchase a 2024 Ford truck for our Code Enforcement Department. We currently have two trucks, one of which is being utilized by our Manager of Inspections and one which is being utilized by myself. And we hired an Inspector 2 in January, as we were looking to purchase a vehicle for his use. We did find a base model Ford truck that was approximately $23,400 with a total price of $27,331.82. We did have a truck in our budget, and we had allocated $42,000 for the purchase of a new vehicle. So we're looking for consensus to move forward.
Well, good for you for finding a great price on that. So thank you very much. I do have a question for you. Will the truck have badging on it, La Plata badging that says planning department on that?
We are not putting planning department, but we will have the town seal on the truck.
Yeah. Okay, and Mr. Manuel, do all of our I guess vehicles, are they indicated, if they are town purchased, do they all have the seal or some type public works or whatnot?
Yeah, I would say no, especially the police department. They have a number of unmarked.
Oh, that makes sense with that.
And Director Stalls.
And Director Saul, okay. All right, I will ask if there's any questions from council.
Madam Mayor.
Yes.
Director Harrington, what did you say the price was?
So the total purchase price for the vehicle is $27,331.82.
Okay. That's what I see, but I thought you said something else. Okay, thank you.
All right, so I will try to see where you all of this. If you're okay to move this forward, I'm just looking for a consensus for legislation. Okay, Councilwoman Bright Ward?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Councilman Jenkins, and I am a yes too. We'll bring this to legislation.
Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Next on the agenda is the council agenda item request. I'm going to give this to you, Councilman Jenkins, so that you can explain a little bit what you're looking for from council to approve that you want on a future agenda.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Again, David Jenkins from Ward 4. My request was, the motivation for the request, we had a council meeting, and I forget the date, when that 2 or 3 weeks ago, where one of the public comments indicated a concern about the hospital infrastructure and their ability to handle the growth that's presently in the town and in the future. And it was motivated by an experience that she had as well. And then on a personal note, I had an occasion to experience that myself. I was in the emergency room in late April. I waited 7.5 hours. There are unfortunately, only two doctors on call. And so one of the nurses, out of frustration, just indicated, why isn't there more help for us to expand the hospital? Unfortunately, I had to tell her that as a town councilman in a town, we don't fund hospitals and we don't build them. It's really a function of the state of Maryland and the hospital itself. So my motivation was just to bring this forward to perhaps two things: have some hospital representatives come and talk to us about their current status, and their needs, and also perhaps their future plans for any expansion of the hospital. And then as well, just to maybe in the future establish a dialogue with them on a quarterly basis or whatever, so we understand, we have some knowledge, and we can then pass it on to our community about. We have a dialogue and talk about their issues and anything we can help with. And there's a related issue here as well. They are a significant employer within the town. They've had expanded their properties in recent years. And in fact, thanks to Director Harrington, they've actually changed their zoning, because at one time they were split zone. My point being that in the future, any expansion will have an effect it'll have an effect on adjacent residences, which are neighborhood zoning, and it has an effect on traffic, and it has an effect on parking and other related issues. So I just thought it would be perhaps something to think about, where we could establish an ongoing dialogue with the hospital. Whoever representative, I listed the CEO, but whatever they feel would appropriate to have some kind of ongoing dialogue. So in essence, that was the reason for that request for consideration to be put this on a future town agenda for a council meeting.
Any comment?
To Bill Grimes to ask if they would prepare something to come out and have a conversation, because the future growth is not impacting the ED. We get a lot of patients from Prince George's County and what have you, and so they're redirected. So I asked him if he could come out and have a conversation. Once he provided, I would have provided them to you to see if they could come out and just have a conversation about their plans, the strategic plan for the projected growth.
And I'm not opposed to that, but they are, with the EMS, we have absolutely nothing to do with them. That is county funded. The only way that we would ever have anything to do with EMS is if we built our own and hired our own, which I don't, I think there's only 2 municipalities out of the 157 that have that. So that is, I think that that could be better served as documentation that they can provide, because they can state that they are underserved, but we literally can't do anything about it. We don't, unless we change our charter and all of that to include EMS. And with the hospital, if they want to present, where they are, like we would do with any other business, that would be fine. But again, the growth that we're seeing, most of the growth has been planned for 35 years ago. That's just happened to be hitting now. And since they have the campus designation and they are part of the University of Maryland family, I guess, we have nothing to do with that. We're not funding money towards building expansions or all that. That's all a networking thing. So if they're willing to come and speak and just to inform.
Yeah, I don't think they're asking for funding.
No, but that's.
No. Finish your comments.
And that's where I'm getting from Councilman Jenkins that they were saying that one comment that you just made, I think, was that you were saying about funding and they don't have the funds to expand, which I'm sure they don't. Everybody is strapped right now, but we aren't their funding source and we can't be their funding source.
Just let me clarify, okay? The individual didn't say they didn't have funding. She was just asking, could the town expand the hospital? And then that's when I responded that we don't build hospitals and we don't fund them.
Right.
That's a function of that particular facility in the state process. So let me clear that I wasn't suggesting anything about funding. I'm not suggesting any funding or charter with respect to EMS. The primary purpose, and maybe I misstated it, is to educate our community, because this is the only hospital in the county. And I understand we don't fund the county and we don't fund EMS. I get that. But from my perspective, it would help us provide some information to the community at large, since we're the elected officials of the town on the planet. And that maybe I misstated it, but that's what the primary intent.
And I'm not opposed to that. I do believe that that is their outreach as well. I mean, any business has to be able to explain how they're expanding, how they're impacted by things going on today, but they are one of our largest employers here. And I am not opposed if they are willing to come. Yes, Mr. Manuel?
Ms. Harrington, I think she is still on the line, and I would just ask if she has any sort of open dialogue with the hospital as far as projected growth.
I don't have an open dialogue with the hospital. We had a meeting a few months ago with the hospital representatives to kind of bring up our population numbers and to talk about plans for future growth. I know that they have their own plans going on that they have to go through the state. But other than that, we don't have a regular meeting scheduled, and we don't have an open dialogue at the current time.
But they are aware of the growth that we're facing.
Yes.
Yeah. And I would say in the hospital's defense, 2 Sundays ago, I went to the hospital around the corner, and I think it took less time to go through the hospital than it did to get my food at Wawa. I was probably in and out in an hour. It's just my father he had a medical emergency and he was at my sister's in Annapolis, and they had to take him to Glen Burnie because the Annapolis hospital was full. So it's.
Go ahead.
You may have been yelling at her cats.
No, we're sneezing, I'm sorry.
Oh, bless you.
I facilitated that meeting between Director Harrington and our leadership to have a conversation because the numbers being thrown out were just exaggerated significantly. We are nowhere near the numbers that they were hearing. And so I wanted her to clarify. And I think that just having them, for informational purpose to come out and talk about their strategic plan and how they plan to address the growth in the town as well as the county, because they are affected by the county's numbers as well. I don't think that would be a harm in doing that. I totally support you. Because
Do they have a strategic plan that they can share?
I don't.
I
How
would
would they
assume.
share it as opposed to?
I mean,
Conversation.
Yeah, if for some reason, and I know they are very busy, if for some reason that they cannot,
They can't. I've had
They-
a conversation with.
but they haven't given you any dates. Okay, so we don't know if it's in the immediate future.
Whatever the dates are, I'm gonna give them to you so you can decide which agenda they can get on.
Absolutely. Okay. So I guess we're looking for a consensus to add this to a future agenda, depending on what the hospital's availability is. And I heard Councilwoman Bryant Ward say yes. Obviously, you say yes.
I will say yes, Councilman
All right.
Jenkins.
I will wait for those dates then. Fantastic. Thank you for bringing this forward. Next on the agenda, we are going right into legislation, Resolution 23-31.
Yes, Madam Mayor, Town Council, a resolution concerning purchase of code enforcement vehicle for the purpose of authorizing the town manager to enter into a contract agreement for the purchase of one 2024 Ford Maverick truck for use by the planning department for code enforcement and inspection activities and all matters generally relating thereto.
Thank you very much. Do I have a motion to adopt resolution 23-31 as presented?
Madam Mayor, I would make a motion to approve resolution 23-31, purchase of code enforcement vehicle as presented.
Thank you very much. Do I have a second?
I second that motion.
Any discussion? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Commission reports. Councilwoman Bryant Ward.
Well, the only thing we did at our commission meeting, we did approve a waiver for parking for Pine Grove, section 1, I think, and Director Harrington gave her presentation that she gave at MML, and it was on annexation, and I thought it was useful for new planning commissioners, so it was very timely.
Thank you very much. And Councilman Jenkins.
I have no report. The Parks and Recreation Commission is not meeting until I think September.
Oh, you don't have it tomorrow?
No.
Okay, wonderful. I have a couple things. This week, the USDA celebrates National Farmers Market Week. It has been proclaimed and in order to champion the direct-to-consumer producers, market managers, and customers that make their community come alive during market days. And I have to say that our former market manager, Director Phipps, did an amazing job taking this to the next level. So this is a great week. Tomorrow and Saturday, go out to the farmers market out by the courthouse and the government building. Friday, August 11th, we have the U.S. Navy Band. The cruisers will be here. And then next week, we are very busy with the kids events. You have on Tuesday, August 15th, Rocknosaurus. It has tens of thousands of fans around the country performing at the Kennedy Center. They've been in business since 2005. Lots of awards, and it's music lovers for all ages. On the 16th, that was rescheduled from today. It's the Uncle Devin Show. It's an interactive musical experience for children by Devin Walker, who is a drummer and percussionist. So Schoolhouse Rock, that kind of thing. And then on the 17th, Southern Maryland Martial Arts Fitness, they're going to have Taekwondo out here for the little tykes, and they actually have the opportunity to earn their white belts. So that is a lot of fun coming up. But Other than that, it was short and sweet today, and I move to adjourn this meeting at 6:19. Do I have a second? All right, thank you very much for coming.
You got a